Alright then, good afternoon ladies and gents, welcome to SKG Tier 1. We are currently sitting in the Baku pit lane, and boy has it been a while since we have been to the Baku City circuit. All the way back in 2014 was the last time that SKG raced at this circuit. So all the way back in Season 9, some 679 days ago. But welcome back to Tier 1, welcome back to Azerbaijan. My name is George Sanderson, and alongside me as always for Tier 1 commentary is my good friend Ollie Lois. Ollie, it's great to have you here, our first time ever commentating Baku and SKG.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. I mean, if Tier 4 is anything to go by, Tier 1 should be an absolute cracker.
Absolutely, yeah, Tier 4 was organised chaos, I think is probably the best way of putting it. Tier 1, as always, will likely promise to be the exact same. We are at such a incredible circuit, really. It is not like your typical street circuit. Of course, it is narrow and at some parts, the narrowest parts of the F1 calendar, but there is overtaking opportunities here at Baku, and I'm sure we will see some moves being made here today. We are looking at Rizbo at the moment as he comes in to that narrowest part of the circuit, where the new part of the Baku city turns into old as they rise up through the castle section and then tour around the outskirts of the old city walls. It is a stunning circuit, and I'm sure it will provide lots of racing action today. We come into this one with a 1-point gap in the Drivers' Championship between Esko Kalevi and Parker, with the Williams driver leading the standings at the moment. And he'll be hoping to leave this 7th round of the season still in the lead of those standings as well, as we enter the second half of Season 16. So, Ollie, we were of course both here last week to watch the race. It's a pretty decent one at Brazil. It's safe to say, if you're a fan of the Racing Bulls team, it was a very good weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we had... Was it who won in Brazil?
It was Tom Campbell ahead of Parker for VCarb's first ever 1-2 finish.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, lovely job by them there last week. Obviously, they'll be wanting to replicate that as much as possible around here. And they are both here, aren't they? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, are they? What's the constructors looking like with them at the moment?
At the moment, VCarb are top, and by a pretty considerable margin at the moment. 31 points clear of Esko Kalevi and Ethan Quigley in the Williams team, and then you have to go a couple of points back to Red Bull in third. So it's tight, but it's not particularly, one good weekend could swing it back in the favour of Williams, but VCarb have sort of a firm grasp on that championship lead at the moment. People in the stream, let us know if Ollie's mic's playing up a bit. I've seen one person say, Laser say it's still a little crackly.
I've had to do a little bit of fixie around, so
no worries. Let us know if it's done the trick, chat, and if not, we could always try via Discord as well, see if that works. There's a few things we can try out during this qualifying session, as we see FST Robin set the first lap of the session, quickly followed and improved upon by Rizbo's Alpine with a 37.6. With that lap, we have actually already beaten the Tier 2 pole time from earlier, set by Oreo Cat in the Mercedes. He set a 1 minute 37.751. So we're already almost a tenth of a second quicker here. As we see, that is Magnussen Cube heading back to the pit lane with no front wing, so his first lap in the session has not gone to plan, I think it's fair to say. I'll tell you what else is fair to mention as well. This man is back in Tier 1. We have the Season 13 Drivers' Champion Milan back in Tier 1. He's been away for quite some time. It's been, God, how many races has it been now? 28 races since Milan was last competing in SKG Tier 1. He's back now, back with Mercedes as well. And he is hoping to improve the fortunes of that team in what is only his second start at Mercedes of his career. The team has had a massive shake-up over the past week to bring in Milan and Mr. Bottler. And they are looking to improve their fortunes on the track, I think it's fair to say. But very excited to have Milan back on the grid. A big name in SKG Tier 1, of course, as he clouts the wall slightly going through the second sector.
I was just looking at the times there, and Rismo, what a lap he's done there. So if you go ahead of Tom, like just the first lap he's done is already, that's a cracking lap. Yeah, Tom Campbell obviously took pole last week, wasn't it? I think it was him.
I believe so, as I've just seen Takubi clout the wall on the exit of turn 1. He had set a 38.0, but his lap time was invalid as MS Venzi goes quickest at the moment with a 37.5, so the time's slowly creeping down. But a good initial lap by Venzi there. We will keep an eye out now for Milan as he approaches the line. His first lap back in SKG Tier 1. What can his original time be as he comes up to the line? Good enough for P7. A 37.9. Not a bad first effort. Just ahead of championship leader Esko Kalevi, who's been pushed all the way down into 8th place. So, pretty close though at the top. Tom Campbell continuing his good form, currently on the second row of the grid, alongside the man who started on the front row in Brazil. Of course, Portuguese Beast picked up his best ever qualifying last weekend, but it sort of fell apart for him a little bit in the race as he eventually trundled to a P7 finish. He'll be hoping to go a little bit better here today. His teammate Magnussen Cube yet to set a lap time. I expect Takubi's Ferrari will be heading back towards the pits. Mr. Bottler is some 7, nearly 8 seconds off the pace of 14th placed Takubi, Ghosty at the moment. So I expect a much quicker lap time from the Mercedes due to come in soon as well. But yeah, after that first run, I think the big surprise probably has to be Risberg, doesn't it, Ollie?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's always there and thereabouts. You never count him out. But he's never been. I was gonna say he's never been fast, but that just sounds really rude. But like,
That's
he's
just
never
cruel.
Been, I don't mean it like that. I mean like he's never been as quick as the top guys in Tier 1. But like he's always.
Yeah.
He can always compete. But I mean, yes, go P2 and go ahead of like Tom Campbell. Portuguese Beast, obviously we know is very quick from last week. And so Kalevi, obviously,
Portuguese
and Parker, they're down a bit lower than they probably would like to be.
Yeah, Portuguese Beast has certainly shown his one-lap pace has improved a lot recently. He just needs the races to go a little bit more in his favour. Risbo currently in a personal best qualifying position though, P2. His best before that was a 4th place in qualifying. Not too sure off the top of my head where that was at, but he's yet to start inside the top 3. And in his 24th race, we'll be hoping that his form can improve in qualifying, because it tends to be the race where Risbo really shines more than qualifying sessions. Venzi as well up there at the moment, on course to his first ever pole position. He'll be hoping to continue that strong opening lap further on into the session. We are keeping an eye on who's coming up to the line. We've got
Cube.
a Haas of Magnussen Cube. Yes, thank you for that. He comes up to the line, and it's P10 for him, a 38.0, 5 thousandths of a second quicker than Parker. So Parker pushed down outside the top 10, which is not ideal for the man. Just a point behind Esko Kalevi, although that being said, Esko is only down in P8 at the moment. But tell you what, as we begin our second laps here in qualifying, let's take you on a little tour of this Baku City circuit. We go right on board with the man who took pole last week. Tom Campbell was dominant in Brazil last weekend. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line here in Abu Dhabi. It's a very short run to turn 1 once you've crossed Abu Dhabi. It's Azerbaijan. We're kind of close. Yeah, we're skipping a few rounds ahead there, but through the first couple of corners, Tom opening the DRS now as we head down this long straight between turns 2 and 3. DRS wide open, picking out his braking points as he gets closer and closer, shifts down into third and stays out of the walls quite nicely there as we get to the left-hand side to switch back through these 90-degree corners of Sector 1, going through the modern part of Baku's city centre. And then this fast left-right flick there through turns 5 and 6 gets him on the power towards the very slow right-hander of turn 7, cuts the corner as much as he's allowed, and now the tightest part of the track just right on board through here, and look how close to the walls you have to get through the castle section there as you rise up the hill towards the highest point of the circuit here at the left-hander of turn 13 before you begin the descent back down towards the line. Ollie made a noise in the background now. I'm not too sure what he saw different, but I think Tom's just clouted the wall there slightly on the exit at turn 15. That will cost him somewhat, but he's still over a 10th up on his personal best, so this is going to challenge for pole position. It was all about that exit though, out of turn 16 as we now head down the 2.2 kilometre run from turn 16 through the flat outs of 17, 18, 19 and 20 and up to the line. What's it going to be for the Australian as he comes up to the line? It is quick enough for provisional pole, but only by 9 thousandths of a second, Ollie.
Yeah, the noise that you heard was me watching Risbo go through the castle section. I swear to God that he was inside that wall for like a split second. He was, oh God, the commitment was crazy. I thought for sure he was either he was out of the session. That's what made that noise. I can't believe that he stayed alive. But yeah, the lap was good in the first sector. I think he was about a 10.5 up on what already is a very strong lap. So Risbo may be in contention here for pole position. I mean, he has to come into the pit lane after making a bit of a doozy. But yeah, Risbo really on the pace here tonight.
Yeah, we are now looking at the Ferraris. We've just seen Ghosty go 13th. His teammate Takubi pushes him down to 14th, though, as Takubi onto the second row. Esko Kalevi, where's that come from? A 1:37.3 is a fantastic lap time to put himself clear at the top, although Portuguese Beast almost immediately bumps him back down with a lap time in the same 10th of a second, but not quite good enough for provisional poles. So
Parker
Portuguese
up to the line.
Beast,
He's half a second up.
Parker, I couldn't scroll to him in time, but he's gone to P3, just ahead of his teammates.
Needed that, indeed.
Just ahead of his teammate Tom Campbell, so the V-Carbs back up towards the top, and in fact it's 3 of the main championship protagonists inside the top 4 here. Next up to the line, that is a Red Bull. That is Venzi, who was on provisional pole before the start of the second run here in qualifying. What can he do this time? He puts himself back top, and once again, the gap between first and second, 9 thousandths of a second. This is ridiculously close here in SKG Tier 1, as we are so used to seeing everyone pretty much within a second. There's just Mr. Butler 1.2 back in 17th place, but almost everyone else within a second of pole, so ridiculously close as Venzi clouts the inside of turn 3 and goes on a little spinala there in his Red Bull, loses some front wing for good measure as well. Who else do we have on laps? We've got Ghosty coming in. I believe his teammate Takubi also coming in and sneaking in ahead of his teammate there, so a little bit cheeky by the Belgian.
In 15th at the moment, he's very low for his standards. I think he was about 6 or 7 tenths up on his time, so should be a.
He bails.
The pit lane, actually.
Yeah, he bails and takes that pit entrance so fast as he comes into the pit lane. You always think they're going to clout the wall, but Catsbear comes in 15th at the moment for the pole. Mr. Butler not going to be improving on this time. I think he has actually run out of fuel on his way back to the pits as well. He is still down in 17th, and that just leaves Venzi cruising around with no front wing at the moment. So while we wait for the final runs to begin in qualifying, as Robin comes back out on the track, Ollie, I'm going to let you monologue for a minute while I go to the toilet.
Right.
No
Hello,
pressure.
chat.
Don't say anything that gets us taken off the air.
Oh, well. Hello, chat. How we doing? What should I say? Anyway, GB is going to go and take his mandatory bathroom break, and we will continue with the action. Because venturing out onto the circuit, man, currently down in 7th now, so he was still probably in the fight for pole. Has a 3/10 gap that he needs to improve on if he wants to travel that front three, as they're all sitting on the 37, should we say, 37 threes. Yeah, many cars now coming out onto the circuit. We have 2.5 minutes left in the session, so very, very shortly we'll have the final runs commencing. And yeah, I mean, how close it has been for now up at that front group. It's really, really... We are blessed. We are blessed with GB's comms. Absolutely. Pretty much everybody out on the circuit apart from Mr. Bottler and Venzi.
Alrighty, I'm back. What have I missed in the meantime?
I accidentally said a slur.
Oh.
So.
Oh no. Okay. Anyway, last runs in qualifying. I've got back just in time to watch. Oh, FST Robin absolutely clout the wall and potentially ruin his final run before it's really begun. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe tries to save fuel for the rest of this lap, and that looks exactly what he is doing. So the McLaren will go around again. Instead, it will be Magnus and Cube starting a lap time first. So let's keep an eye on the hash, shall we? 4th gear through the first corner, back on the power towards turn 2. Pick your braking point, because you need a good exit to get onto this straight and put the power down as quickly as possible as we head parallel to the start-finish straights on the run down towards turn 3 at the moment. DRS is wide open and he picks his braking point for this hard 90-degree left-hander. 3rd gear, keeping the traction as much as he can for the short run towards turn 4 through the right-hander. Now 2 more 90-degree corners to go before we enter the old town. This one considerably tricky though. You need to try and stay to the left-hand side to switch it back to the right through turn 6. And he's not doing too badly so far, Magnus and Cube, all the way down in 13th at the moment. Now for the castle section. This is where a lap can be over in an instant, but he flies through there as though the walls were about 10 metres further away from him. I'm guessing someone else has hit the wall instead though, Ollie. What have you just seen? Rispo is scaring Ollie in the commentary box as we watch Magnus and Cube continue on his lap. He'll be the first one to finish his run here in qualifying. The checker flag falling in the next 7 seconds, and now Magnus and Cube has this long run towards the line through 17, 18 and 19. This right-hander here is apparently turn 20, but that is very much flat out as we head towards the line now. Magnus and Cube, the first one to complete his final run in qualifying, currently 13th. Goes up to 9th, so not a bad effort there. Risbo currently 7th as he comes up to the line. What can he do? It's P5 for the Alpine. We've got one of the V-carbs in the background. That is Tom Campbell, who's been dropped down to 6th, but he goes back up to 4th. The Red Bull now of Katsby NJ crosses the line. It's only 13th for him, as Peter Games' Aston Martin will be next up. Currently 14th, goes 11th. Good improvement from him. Mark Daniel, can he be in top 10 on debut? He can. P7 from him. Takubi, though. Oh, he's 37-1. Hello, Takubi. Welcome back to the front of the field. That might be pole position number 11 for the Belgian. A sensational lap there. We now wait for the rest of the drivers. AMS Callum bails into the pits. What can Parker do as he comes up to the line? He's down on his time. It's only P6 for him. Esko Kalevi next up. Can he go quickest? No, he can't. It's no improvement for him. Is anyone going to challenge Takubi? Portuguese Beast next up to the line after Goat Ghosty. The other Ferrari currently 15th, stays 15th. Portuguese Beast only 3rd for him. It's down to Venzi then. What can the Red Bull do as he comes up to the line? He doesn't improve. It's only P2 for him, and surely that is Takubi on pole unless Robin can do anything about it, but he is 10 seconds down on his time, and Takubi gets an 11th pole position of his Tier 1 career and continues to stake himself as one of the greats of this league.
did that come from? We didn't even mention Takumi once this whole session, and all of a sudden, bang! What? I mean, fair play to Takumi. I mean,
yeah,
what 1.5 tenths as well. Gaps were
that
like
was
9 milliseconds at some point, and then bang.
well. You just have to look at the three behind him. Venzi, 0.151. Portuguese Beast, 7 thousandths behind him. Esco Clevy, 2 thousandths behind him. The top four ridiculously close when you say there's 0.16 of a second between them, but 0.15 of that was between first and second. So ridiculously close between second, third, and fourth. Once again, Takumi though, that man is inevitable. He comes up with the goods just every so often. That is his 11th pole position in 41 races. A pole every 4 races on average. I mean, that takes some beating, really.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. You can't write the man out ever. He is literally the Max Verstappen last year.
He literally is.
You can't write him off.
And you have to fancy him coming out of this first corner, probably or potentially in the lead as well, because it is a tiny run from pole to turn one. It's only about 140 metres between pole position and that first corner. So you have to, if you're Venzi in second, you have to get the perfect start to stand any chance of making a move into turn one on lap one. So, yeah, good chance for Takumi to take the lead heading through the first time around this circuit. Pole Burb was, I believe, a 36-1 off the top of my head. 37-1, sorry. So, incredibly quick. Here we go then. We head to the 5 red lights at the Baku City Circuit, and it's a tiny hold on the lights for a tiny run towards turn 1, and Takumi has to go to defensive as Venzi launches it up the inside. We're 3 wide through turn 1. Portuguese Beast all the way around the outside, and the Haas has somehow gone from third to first, but Venzi dives it down his inside again, and Portuguese Beast has dropped back down to third. Ollie, it's chaos at the start of this race. Somehow everyone has made it through the first couple of corners, but Venzi, we said he needed the perfect start. What did he get? But the perfect start. The Red Bull leads as we head through turn 1, but Takumi is not giving this up. Side by side through turns 3 and 4 though. He's on the outside for 5, and surely he's going to have to back out at some point, but Takumi holds his nose down the inside. There's a slight bit of contact between the two of them, and there goes Tom Campbell of all people, who forces his way into second place. A great start by the Racing Bulls. A nightmare for Takumi, who's surely not thinking of too wide through the castle. He isn't. He backs out. Venzi leads by almost a second, and we can finally take a breather after that first lap.
Yeah, that was a crazy start. Yeah, like, you literally said it. It's like, Takumi is surely going to remain in the lead, but Venzi with the rocket ship launch that he got, and unfortunately we were just talking about Takumi and whoever going side by side, and 2 cars did go side by side, and it ended badly for a Ferrari.
Yes,
limping home with no front wing, and unfortunately on the hards.
Oh, we've just shown on the stream Go Ghosty there without his front wing. That is very unfortunate for the Ferrari. The other Ferrari still up in 3rd place, and I feel like Takumi might be wanting vengeance in this race because he was badly hit in that one. It was very aggressive driving by Venzi. I think largely fair. There might have been a bit of argy-bargy in there, but that is racing at times. Sometimes you do have to get the elbows out, particularly on a street circuit like this. 3 cars into the pit lane at the end of the first lap, and 2 of those are Mercedes as they all come in and switch to what I expect will be the hard tyres for most, although Ghosty having to switch to the mediums, given he had already started on the white wall compound of tyre. But everyone else, apart from AMS Callum, starting on the mediums. Milan has gone for the softs here. So that's an interesting strategy by the Mercedes. We'll see how that one pans out. It's, medium tyres for everyone else on track apart from Bottler, his teammate Milan, and AMS Callum. But,
curious when it's going to be our first victim claimed by the Wolves here in Baku. I mean, we almost had one with Ghosty. Thankfully, he's still in the race, but on the way back, unfortunately. And I mean, you got to say there is going to be a second car at some point. Oh my word!
You have to expect it. I'm not too sure what you saw there for a second. I was trying to keep an eye on the timers to see who was close by, so I'm not too sure.
I'm just being shocked at the speed as of which these drivers are taking some of the corners, which I don't usually even take at that speed, at my pace. Like Benzi going, I don't even know what corner number it is, but hopping over the curbs so much. I thought he was going to clout the outside wall and DNF. Whatever's going around here is scary.
Yeah, Tom Campbell continuing his form from Brazil. He's already up 3 places, and he's all over the back of Venzi now for the lead of this race. The Red Bull Akatsuki and Jacek making a move on the pit straight. He's up into P12 now, as he tries to recover from a poor qualifying. Parker, by the way, down 2 places into 8th. It has been a nightmare start for the man challenging for the championship, as he is losing a number of points at the moment to Esko Klevi, who himself has lost ground in this race, but is only down 1 into 5th. Venzi continuing to lead the way then. The Italian, who is yet to taste victory in Tier 1, his compatriot Nardo took a win earlier on in the season, the first Italian to do so for a number of seasons. But Venzi, just the 2 podiums to his name so far as he slides his way out of the castle section there. But here's Pinay. Very dramatic start to this race, and thankfully everyone is still within the same train apart from the 3 drivers that had to come into the pits at the end of the first lap, Ollie.
Yeah, well, man, I do want to say he's doing a good job for now is Mark Daniel. I don't think I've ever seen his name pop up as Esko Klevi has got past the Haas before he even got to the straight, so I think he might
be a sitting duck here.
Yeah, I don't think he's played this really well as yellow flag out. Is that car being claimed by the Wolves?
Quite possibly, I think, yes. Bottler has no front wing on his Mercedes, as we get a lovely helicopter shot of Tom Campbell closing in on Venzi, but no move being made there. Instead, we look to the background where Portuguese Beast has got past Esko Klevi once again. There's 2 trading the DRS down the main straight, but it has cost some time. The top 3, 1.6 seconds clear now of Portuguese Beast in 4th place. A bit of a train being separated there, and the 2 Aston Martins at the back of the front group as well being separated away, as Callum 1.4 seconds back on Kacper Jędrzejczyk. But Rizbo still up in 6th. You mentioned Mark Daniel as well in the McLaren.
Oh, what a move from the other Williams there. Round the outside, I think that's what, turn 5.
I hear the mental counting there on me.
Yeah, round the outside of Parker, of all people, at turn 5. And yeah, now he's up to P8.
Tom Campbell, though, 3-second time penalty. You don't see track limits being handed out that often at Baku because, well, there's simply not that many places where you can cut corners. There are walls everywhere. But
that must
Tom
have been
Campbell,
the corner
lap 4.
The castle, that must have been. Where there is quite a big...
It's about the only place that you really can cut, apart from the one that Ethan Quigley's just going through now at turn 15. So yeah, Tom Campbell on lap 4 has a 3-second time penalty already, so that could prove extremely costly for him. Portuguese Beast has managed to push his way back into the DRS of Takubi. Did Esko Klevi get the DRS though? He might be a bit too far back to get it this time around. Portuguese Beast did get it, Esko did not, as at the front we have a simple DRS overtake being made as we see, I believe that is Parker, into the pits. It is, so at the end of lap 4 he comes in. Is there damage on the V-carb? This could be huge in the championship. Mr. Bottler retires. That's in the wall. Parker, no damage. Oh, there is damage for him, but they've not fixed it, the team. There is a right front end plate missing from that V-carb, and he has not changed his wings.
What's happened here? Amos Callum is in the runoff, but
Callum is trying to get out of the runoff by the looks of it, and it's taken him a while, but I wonder if that's strategy from Parker. Maybe he feels the damage isn't bad enough to change, but he's just not wanting to be in the train here and has decided to take a very early pit stop just to get himself a bit of clean airs. I think Tom Campbell might have clouted the wall at the castle section there. Not too sure. We're going to keep an eye out, see if there's damage on his car as well. But for the time being, it doesn't appear so.
Yeah, one thing that you were just mentioning there about Parker with this strategy of maybe not getting a front wing change is his front wing is damaged on the right-hand side, and there is more left-hand corners around the circuit, so maybe, yeah, it could have been a very strategic play.
Potentially, either that or just a miscommunication between himself and the pit wall. But out at the front, Tom Campbell doing what Tom Campbell does best at the moment. He did it in Brazil where he just accelerated away. He's doing it here in Baku, and another very early pit stop here. Tom Campbell in at the end of lap 5 with Portuguese Beast. Are these medium tyres really degrading that quickly, or are these guys committing to a 2-stop perhaps? But that is very early for a pit stop. I mean, it was lap 8 at the earliest, I think, in Tier 4, from what I remember.
But Tom Campbell merging from the pit lane now, and Parker isn't even at turn 1 yet. So... yeah,
Parker some way down, so...
between the two racing bulls here, as he's
that is very...
beast.
That is very, very interesting, and I honestly, I don't know if they can take these hards all the way to the end. It is a big risk pitting this early in the race if you're trying to make a one-stop work. And, you know, the likes of Venzi and Takubi, they can just go to about 2 or 3 more laps and then make a pit stop and likely make it to the end of this race. So, an interesting strategy call by VCarb here. Maybe they've thought of something that we haven't up here in the commentary box, but... yeah, well, I'm interested to see what the top 7 do at the end of this lap, because they are the only drivers yet to pit in this race. You can have a look at the stops there. Callum also yet to pit, but of course he spent quite a lot of time performing a 3-point turn in the first sector earlier on. I think I just saw someone clout the wall, but no damage on anyone that I'm currently looking at. But let's keep an eye on Venzi then as we come up towards the pit lane. Are we going to see any of them bail into the pit lane? Takubi towards the middle of the track at the moment, but no, he stays out. Esko Kalevi, though, comes in, so I think this is a smart strategic play from Williams, to be honest. It's pointless risking whether VCarb have come up with a different strategy that's going to work for them massively at the end of this race. And, you know, it's pointless risking it. His main rivals in the championship, or at least his main rival, should I say, in the championship, is Parker, just a point behind him. He might as well cover off his championship rival and also the man fourth in the championship, Tom Campbell, by coming into the pits when he has. He is behind both of them, Esko Kalevi, but not too far behind, Ollie.
No, he's going to have the fresher tyres, and obviously with I mean, I'm going to come to GB for some advice and some statistics.
Oh dear.
You raced on Thursday. How was your tyre wear?
I mean, I thought it was better than what these guys are having. Because it was, I think it was lap 8 that... no, it was the end of lap 9, sorry, I made my pit stop. I was planning lap 10, but the tyres were not going to make it to lap 10. But you can take a set of mediums to about 80% wear around this track before they do puncture. So, and the fact that, you know, I'm not good at tyre saving is part of the reason why I'm in Tier 4, as Venzi has a terrible exit there out of turn 16, and I think we're about to see a change for the lead as we come down towards the pit straight. But my tyre wear is pretty poor. I'm on controller, I'm a Tier 4 driver, you're not expecting miracles from me, but I managed to take them to lap 9 and they were okay, so... it's interesting. In comes Takubi now at the end of lap 7, so he now responds, and I'm expecting we're going to see him drop a number of positions here with everyone else making their pit stop a few laps earlier. Tom Campbell, by the way, is about 5 seconds clear of everyone else that's made a pit stop, so I'm not sure where he's gained this much time, but Portuguese Beast has dropped like a stone here. And yeah, Takubi will come out behind Esko Kalevi in what is currently 10th place.
That's some damage on his front wing, but I don't think that even really that. can explain the lack of pace, because Parker does damage on the same part of his front wing and the Haas, and well, he's actually ahead of the Haas that was ahead of him on track earlier. So
Yeah, well, Portuguese Beast has lost probably about 5 seconds to Tom Campbell because they weren't far away from each other when they came into the pit lane. There's probably only about a second or two between the two. I doubt he changed his front wing in the pit stops. If he has, he's got damage again. But yeah, a lot of time lost there. Tom Campbell miles ahead, and he needs to be. He has that 3-second time penalty. He needs to be pulling a gap on these guys, and that's exactly what he's doing currently as he goes down the inside of Peter Games and makes the move up into 4th place on those fresh tyres. But yeah, Tom, the strategy so far looking really good for him as Risbo, I think, has just lagged backwards there into 3rd place, and it means we currently have a Red Bull 1-2, Katsby and Jacek all the way up to 2nd place, although of course both of them yet to pit in this race. Will Venzi come in this time around? Indeed he does. Ethan Quigley, I think actually Venzi might get a penalty for that pit entry because he crossed the line on the entrance there, so he might be in trouble with that one. But Venzi comes in, Katsby continues on, Risbo continues on, and Tom Campbell's practically on the back of them already, having made his first pit stop.
I just invited the wrong person twice. Oh no.
We'll get Ethan Quigley back in as quickly as we can, and yeah, let's take a look at the tyres that everyone is on then. As expected, those who have made their pit stop have all come out on a hard compound of tyre. But yeah, Parker very poor through turn 3, and that might open the door to Portuguese Beast, but not quite through the corner there. Parker remains in 6th place for the time being, but coming under some pressure from the Haas behind as this little train of cars continues its way through. And in fact, Parker has fallen behind Mark Daniel, I believe. Mark Daniel has made his pit stop and is in a genuine 5th place at the moment, which will become P2 once everyone else makes their pit stop. So fantastic start to his debut here in Tier 1 as Tom Campbell now gets past Risbo and up into 2nd.
As he's liking that place for an overtake. He did it on Peter Games a few laps ago, and well, he's done it to the Alpine now, and yeah. Where's Venzi?
It's a very unconventional place to make an overtake, I'll say that much, but Tom is making it work on these guys on much older tyres. We have got a lovely camera from the helicopter here of Risbo as he heads down the pit straight. Will he come into the pits this time around? He is towards the left-hand side, but pulls back to the right, so not this time around. Instead, it's Katsby and Jacek, who you see on the left-hand side, pulling into the pit lane. So the 2nd Red Bull in this lap. We've got Peter Games in as well in his Aston Martin. And now everyone else making moves, including Esco Clevy, who gets down the inside of Portuguese Beast and into 5th place, who now coming under pressure from Takubi as the two of them come together. And I think that might have been on the Haas more than the Ferrari, because he opened the door and then tried to come back over to the right-hand side. But there was a Ferrari there, and that forced the Haas into the wall, and yeah, potentially more damage on his car there. So Portuguese Beast, as it did in Brazil, his race is somewhat falling apart here as laps go on, down 4 places from where he started in 7th at the moment.
Yeah, he's missing pretty much his whole side of his right-hand side front wing now, so unfortunately for the Haas, it's gone from bad to worse, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Takubi very lucky there. He doesn't appear to have any visual damage on that Ferrari, currently in 6th place. So he has got away scot-free from that one. And from our camera angle at least, it'll be interesting to see the onboards of both drivers. But from the off-board camera angles, it did seem that the Haas sort of moved over to try and put pressure on the Williams ahead, which allowed the Ferrari into the gap, and then he tried to shut that gap while there was a car there. But we will wait and see if it goes to the stewards. But yeah, Portuguese Beast losing a lot of time now. He's already 2.5 seconds further back from the Ferrari, and has Venzi all over the back of him now as well.
Yeah, it's just going to be a frustrating Venzi as he can get through here, but being stuck behind the Haas, which is missing half his front wing as Risbo finally pits. So he's risked staying out, and unfortunately he's going to lose a lot of time now. But yeah, Venzi, he's probably going to be a bit frustrated. He's lost a couple of seconds to cars ahead of him, but he's got the fresher tyres, so he can use that come the end of the race.
Takubi on Parker down the DRS straight, gets that move done. We just saw Esko Klevi make the move into third place a moment before. Takubi wasting no time here and is up into fourth. So Parker, not his day it seems today. He's down into fifth place and just doesn't appear to have the pace. How much of that is due to his front wing damage, I'm not too sure, but yeah, he is not seeming to be as competitive as his teammate at the moment, who is of course out in the lead and with the fastest lap as well, so an extra point heading his way currently.
Well, I'll tell you what, it might not be Parker's day, but it is currently his teammate's day. Even with that 3-second penalty that he had, he's still extending the gap actually, which is, so he might generally be okay here with having what, well, you must say it's quite an unorthodox penalty. But yeah, he's still doing a great job here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been another very impressive performance by the Australian in that V-carb. We've had 6 different winners in the first 6 races so far this season. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is... We're just muddling everyone up here. Tom is looking to try and end that streak here today and be the first driver this season to win multiple races. But yeah, he's going about it the right way at the moment, as Venzi, though, steals the fastest lap points away from him at the moment. The man currently in 6th place in this race, getting an extra point heading his way as it stands. Mark Daniel, by the way, 1.7 seconds clear of Esko Klevi at the moment, on debut no less, running around in 2nd place, having started down in 9th. This has been a fantastic drive by the McLaren, but I think the question we're having to ask in this race is, can people make those tyres last? Because we've had a lot, as Ghosty calls it today, in the Ferrari. That's a DNF for him, his first of the season. But yeah, the question is, can people on those tyres make them last to the end of this race? Because they pit quite early. Are we looking towards a 2-stop in this race, do you think, Ollie?
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility of that. People pitting maybe like 18 or 19 to go onto the mediums for a final stint, but it just depends how well they're managing them. I mean, yeah, I don't race here in SKG, so I don't really know how the tyres wear. Obviously, we asked you, and you say what they
you
went
asked
bad.
The Tier 4 driver.
Yeah, but they took pole nonetheless. We'll add that to your name. The Tier 4 pole system.
We will. I tell you what else we'll be adding. Takubi up into 3rd place, and he's just about within the DRS of Mark Daniel as well. So this chasing pack between the McLaren of Takubi, Esko Klevi and Venzi are beginning to close in on the Papaya machine ahead of them. Parker is being dropped though. He's now down in 6th, 2 seconds back. So Parker really struggling for pace in this one. And it might be a case of damage limitations. Down the inside at turn 3 goes Venzi and practically pushes the Williams into the wall there. I'm not sure if that was clean. We'll have to wait and see whether that one gets reported. But yeah, Venzi up into 4th place now with the fastest lap in this race as well. He's getting a good haul of points as things stand. Esko Klevi bumped off the podium and down into 5th place now.
Yeah, it was a move and a half, but like I said, it wasn't the cleanest. Esko did brush the wall a tiny bit at turn 3, but he didn't pick up any damage, thankfully. But yeah, like you said, might see the stewards for just a bit dangerous driving, I suppose you could label that as unnecessary.
It's one of those that you sort of go, it's a balancing act at a circuit like this, because at the end of the day, it is a street circuit. It's very narrow. If you're going to make a move, you're probably gonna have to get your elbows out a little bit and get your hands a little bit dirty. But at the same time, there are places you can make a clean overtake, and turn 3 is one of them, with it being a DRS straight. So I'm not too sure. I'll be interested what the steward's opinion is on that one. But lap 14 of 26 here. we are heading on to. So we are now in the second half of this race. Max asking in the stream chat, is it Qatar next week? It certainly is, and after that we have a United States double header with Vegas followed by Austin, so be an interesting few weeks to come here in SKG, particularly with that American double header. Two very different circuits. Qatar not always known for its exciting races, but Vegas and Kota much better circuits for overtaking. Out at the front then, Mark Daniel 6.2 seconds back from Tom Campbell at the moment. Tom, of course, with that 3-second time penalty to his name, still very comfortably leading this race, says Mark Daniel, losing a number of positions, and that releases Takubi into second place, but they've lost a chunk of time there, and now 7.3 seconds back from the race leader. Mark Daniel, is there damage on that McLaren? Let's have a look as he goes past. I don't believe there is. Unless, no damage to the McLaren, but having a spin, and could that signal that these hard tyres are starting to feel a little bit worse for wears for some of the drivers here this afternoon?
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see, but
I don't know how Scooby didn't get damage from that. The McLaren was, he pretty much T-boned him in a way, and I mean, thankfully for the Ferrari, he's escaped unscathed and can now go in. Well, I say that he's going to probably be overtaken by Venzi here.
There's a good chance for it as we head down towards turn 1. Here goes the Red Bull, and it's a simple move with the DRS. Gets himself up into second place, and I think they just need a bit of teamwork between them at the moment. Not waste too much time battling. They need to focus on catching the man currently leading this race 7 seconds up the road, that being Tom Campbell. It's Benzi and Takubi. What's that?
It only needs to be 4 seconds, technically.
Yeah. So they only need to close in to within 4 seconds. Well, close in by 4 seconds to be within 3 seconds. If they want to stand a chance of winning this race. And of course that's if no one else comes into the pits. We're seeing AMS Callum currently in the pit lane, and he is coming in off of 14 lap old mediums, which would mean if Catspo was to pit at that point, he puts on a set of mediums, does AMS Callum. For Tom to reach the same age of tyre, he's going to get to the pit stop window for Callum on lap 20. That's a long way still to go for Tom Campbell to make the end, whereas Takubi will have done 14 laps on his hard tyres on lap 22, at the end of lap 22. So Takubi could potentially stretch his tyres to the end of this race, but for our race leader, I just feel that might be a stretch too far for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does have to go to a 2-stop, but we'll wait and see. We are coming towards what would be pit stop window in the next 3 or 4 laps, you'd say. But for the time being, we're going to keep an eye on the gap because it has closed up by about a second here. Venzi to within 6.3, Takubi sticking with him, Mark Daniel and Catsby and Jacek all of a sudden up in 4th place as Mark Daniel comes into the pits with Parker. Is this a sign of what's to come then? Parker pitted the lap before his teammate last time, and he's come in here at the end of lap 15, and he's going to put on a set of the hard tyres again. So medium, hard for Parker. Is that just his lack of pace, or is he signalling that his teammate might be coming in at the end of this lap? Tom Campbell, having done 10 laps on those hard tyres, is losing time to the cars behind him now. Where has Catsby and Jacek come from, by the way? Up in 4th place.
I was asking myself that as well. Why is there a yellow flag out? Someone has fallen down. I don't know who that was.
Not too sure, but Callum's back in the pits, by the way, so it might have been to do with him. I know Callum just retiring from this session, but Tom Campbell 6 seconds clear at the front, and I think this is the biggest question mark we've had all race. Is he going to come into the pits at the end of this lap? Is he going to try and push his tyres a little bit longer? If he's going to another set of hard tyres, you have to say he surely comes in at the end of this lap to mirror what his teammate did in his strategy, and that would release Venzi and Takubi into the race lead, who really do have that question mark of can they take their tyres to the end of the race. Tom Campbell stays out then at the end of lap 16. He is continuing on in this race, 6 seconds clear, but that gap is slowly coming down as there's the yellow flag for Callum's car up ahead. That will not affect the race whatsoever, but Tom Campbell leading then, Venzi second, Takubi third, Katsby and Jacek out of nowhere up into fourth with Esko Klevi fifth, Robin up in sixth. He's having a decent drive in his McLaren. His debutant teammate has just made the move for 8th with Magnus and Cube heading into the pit lane.
Yeah, yeah, where has Casper come from? Oh my word. All of a sudden top 5 and he's there again. Like Takubi.
Yeah,
you can never write him off.
He's just spawned in, basically. It's a classic Catsper moment, and you can't rule him out just yet.
Esko as well, so on course to finish ahead of the 2 championship protagonists. We'll have to keep an eye on Parker actually here. With Esko, obviously will probably respond with his 10-lap old tyres. So,
but that's the thing. Does he need to? He could potentially try and take them longer into this race. I mean, Takubi and Venzi, I'm looking at their tyres. They need to do 10 laps more to take them to the end. That would be 18 or 19 laps on the tyres. It's potentially doable. It's just, are they going to risk it or not in this race? Let's keep an eye on Tom Campbell. That gap now down to 5 seconds, by the way, at the front. So another 2 seconds getting shaved off would mean he loses the race lead. And I believe, judging by the positioning of his car, yes, Tom Campbell comes into the pits then at the end of lap 17, and he'll switch off his hard tyres, but speeds into the pit lane! That's his race over, surely, for Tom Campbell. There is no chance he is winning this one now, and all of a sudden, this race has blown wide open. Venzi, Takubi, Katsby and Jacek, Esko Klevi, hell, even Parker, everyone in with a chance of this race win, because Tom Campbell has thrown it away by himself.
I knew it. I just sensed the second he was on them brakes, I was like, that's too fast. And yet, race director notes as he weaves. So I think he's maybe just... Oh.
Bit frustration there,
frustration.
Tom Campbell, and that's 13 seconds of penalties to his name. Now, he is the only driver with penalties as he goes around the outside. Lovely move, by the way. I know it's fresh tyres versus 12-lap old hards, but that's still a fantastic move by Tom Campbell to get himself back on the podium provisionally. But with those 13 seconds of penalties, let's have a look. It would take him to 24.4 seconds. He'd be out of the points. He'd be 12th as things stand. And that is huge. His title hopes there. I mean, he was having a fantastic round. He was closing himself up to within about 30 points of the championship lead, which is still a big gap. But with 5 rounds to go, it's still in your own hands at that point. Now, though, yeah, it might not be so much of a chance for Tom Campbell this season. Looking at who is still yet to make a second pit stop then. Venzi and Takubi out at the front only have done 1 stop. Robin and Risbo in 4th and 5th also on 1. Is Takubi about to come into the pit lane? He is. In comes the Ferrari, in comes Venzi, and he crashes in the pit entrance. He takes it too quick, and that is a safety car. And all of a sudden, Takubi is rubbing his hands together because this is a free pit stop for him, and he might well come out in the lead of this race. In comes Tom Campbell to serve that 10-second time penalty. He might stand a chance yet in this race. Of course, he'll still have the 3-second time penalty. But wow, Mark Daniel leads the way in this race. Who came out first between Catsper and Takubi? It will be Catsper in second on 1-lap old hards. Mark Daniel on 3-lap old hards. On debut is leading here in Baku. What an incredible story that would be. He's trying to become the first debutant to win his first race since AMS Vettel all the way back in season 12. It's a fantastic opportunity for the man who started down in 9th, by the way. Katsby and Jacek down in 14th as well. These guys have come out of nowhere and are suddenly fighting for the race win. Tom Campbell has gone to softs here.
As has his teammate Parker, who decided to get his wing changed at last. I was watching him in the pit stops, but unfortunately, yeah, apart from obviously Milan being so far behind, he is pretty much last. So, yeah,
I am
Parker needs to.
very confused by that strategy from VCarb. The
I don't know if
mediums,
Softs can make it.
they can't. Simple as that. They simply cannot make it to the end. So I'm not sure what VCarb are thinking. Tom Campbell has damage on his front wing, by the way. So I won't be surprised if he's come in for softs to then pit again, maybe. But I don't. I'm not sure what VCarb
Does
are
he still
cooking up
have
here
his...
because
Oh,
he's served his 10-second time penalty, but he still has his 3 seconds for track limits. But softs can't make it. That's what's confusing me. We saw in the first stint that drivers were only taking the mediums about 6 or 7 laps, but that's what we have left, and they've gone for the softs.
I mean, they're obviously getting, under safety car, getting the chance to save them, but once we go back to racing, they'll have to be pushing as 110%.
Yeah, I think Tom Campbell's coming back into the pits here. He's on the left-hand side of the track, and indeed he is. So he'll come in, get a fresh front wing on his car, and hopefully not speed it this time. He doesn't, and I'm expecting he'll go to a fresh set of the mediums. And Parker, his teammate, comes in as well, and I think we're seeing him go to a set of mediums as well. So they're just wanting extra fresh tyres on their cars. Let's see what they go to. Tom Campbell goes back to hards. Did he not have a fresh set of mediums?
He must have gone harder on his tyre allocation then, because he started on mediums.
So, I mean, I'm not too sure what VCarb are cooking here. Parker goes on to 3 lap-old hards. But
well.
VCarb, after such a strong weekend in Brazil, the first 1-2 finish for the team, they had an opportunity to become the first ever team to go back-to-back races, getting 1-2 finishes. No team in SKG Tier 1 has ever done that across all 16 seasons. And instead they find themselves 11th and 12th.
Yeah, they've kind of gone from hero to zero in the start of this race to then the end of this race. I mean, the race is over, it's obviously still well, I was about to say a good portion, but it really isn't. But on the hard, I don't see them making up that much ground.
We'll go racing from the start of lap 21 here, so we'll have 6 laps to go in this race. There is no way, first of all, that Tom Campbell gets through the field and gets 3 seconds ahead. But there's just no way. I'm pretty certain we're about to see the safety car board message come up and the lights turn off on the safety car.
No.
Or are we?
We're going on for one more because of my lap.
Wow, I expected it to come in this lap.
That's be a late call.
I'm still half expecting a late call from Bert Mylander here, but we'll wait and see. If it goes one more lap, that's even worse news for the VCarbs, because they need as much time as they can to get themselves back through the field here. I mean, Esko Kalevi must be rubbing his hands together. He's 4th at the moment in this race.
Yep, staying out.
And his main rivals are out of the points. This is perfect for him. Mark Daniel leading the way in this race. But let's have a look. Fastest lap at the moment is with Venzi. So someone has to beat a 1 minute 40.961 if anyone is to get the fastest lap points in this race. But Mark Daniel currently getting 25 points. Kaspian Jacek in 2nd place. He'll be hoping to get another win to add to his collection. Takubi, he's been hoping for a few races now to get his record-breaking win. So we could have some real stories on our hands here. A debutant win for the first time since Season 12, if it's Mark. Katzber looking for his first win in 28 races. Takubi looking to make history. Esko Kalevi looking to become the first driver this season to win multiple races and extend his championship lead. I mean, how do you even go about predicting this one?
You put some names in a hat and just draw one out and see whoever the hell it is. And yeah, this is going to be a cracking finish. I mean, saves car bins laps, so it'll be 4 laps of
5 laps.
Oh, indeed, 5 laps. Yes, thank you, George Sanson. This is going to be one of them that you just hold your breath.
I don't think we'll be able to hold it for 5 whole laps, but I feel like we almost need
You know
to.
what I mean?
Given the chaos that we saw on lap 1, I feel like we're about to get 5 laps of that over and over and over again. So, I mean, strap yourselves in, folks. The safety car is about to come in. We look at Mark Daniel at the moment, and the lights have gone off on the... Kubi, what's happened? Has his wheel disconnected?
I think it has, because he's steered into a wall.
Oh, that is so cruel for Takubi. That record-breaking win will just have to wait yet again. And what... Oh, that is such rotten luck for the Belgian driver. I mean, what can you do in that situation? That is rotten luck for him. It pushes Esko Kalevi up into 3rd place, though, in this race. And all of a sudden, everyone else is up a position as well. But, oh, what a nightmare for the Ferrari driver. The curse of 10 wins continues. Every driver that has reached 10 wins has never won again in Tier 1. And Takubi is on that list at the moment. But we go racing now as Mark Daniel gets a fantastic safety car restart and is clear at the front by 0.7 of a second. What a launch by the Briton in the Papaya car. Takubi comes into the pits.
Oh, there's a big crash in the background. I think that was with somebody.
Risbo maybe, he's dropped back quite a bit. Risbo has a bit of damage on his car as well. Takubi comes into the pit lane, puts on another set of hard tyres, and yeah, that is very unfortunate for him. Esko Kalevi! Oh my goodness, championship leader has hit the wall, has massive damage. What is going on here in Baku? Oh my word, the championship flips on its head yet again. Tom Campbell is somehow up into 8th place at the moment. Esko Kalevi is out of the points. Parker out of the points. Katsby and Jacek in 2nd place. Mark Daniel still leading the way.
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, we weren't holding our breath. We need to keep
we need to breathe. We need to take a minute.
Yeah, let's do that.
We just need to take a minute and figure out what is going on here. Mark Daniel leads for McLaren on his debut. Katsby and Jacek 2nd place to Red Bull. 28 races since he last took a win in SKG Tier 1. FST Robin 3rd place in just his 2nd start, looking for his 1st podium and looking to try and make it a McLaren 1-2 or at least a double podium. Haas 4th and 5th with Magnussen, Cube and Portuguese Beast. What a performance by the American team, although here comes Ethan Quigley and the other Williams trying to make up for his teammates. He's up into 5th place now. Here comes the other Haas, though, Portuguese Beast getting back past again. And we're almost going 4 wide towards turn 1. We've got the V car, but Tom Campbell down the inside of 3 drivers into turn 1 gets the move done, like Daniel Ricciardo in 2017. And he's up into 5th place, but still has that 3-second time penalty that will push him back out of the points. As things stand, back out towards the front, Katsby and Jacek not close enough to make a move on Mark Daniel. Ollie is making groans in the background as we have an Aston Martin of Peter Games try to get past the Haas of Portuguese Beast. They're side by side, but Portuguese Beast holds on. Ollie, take over while I take a breath. Oh my word, this is insane.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. It's Takubi calls it a day.
Yeah, Takubi calls it a day in the pits. It's a double DNF for Ferrari, a nightmare race for them. Just when they thought they would try to get themselves back into the Constructors' battle in Tier 1, they go and get a double DNF in Baku. But, I mean, where do we even start? Championship leader out the points. The man 2nd in the championship, only picking up 1 point. Tom Campbell 5th, but about to drop down. This is going to be one of the craziest endings to this season, I think.
Yeah, this might be race of the season before it's even finished. I mean, unbelievable. We've had, yeah. Oh god, I think the top 5 is, apart from Casper, has all been. Well, yeah, Mark and Casper, the only 2 out of that top 5, I think, are still alive. Or top 4, I want to say. As I think the Red Bull will finally now, with DRS, comfortably take the lead. And like you say, after 26 races, is this it for Casper? 28.
Yeah. It's been a long time, and Mark Daniel, I think there's little he could do there. Portuguese Beast has dropped all the way down to 10th place now, and I think that might just be because he didn't have DRS, and everyone else around him did. Lost 3 places in one straight. Mark Daniel, though, down to second. We have to point out he is on 2-lap older tyres than Catsby and Jacek, so the tyre advantage firmly in the favour of the Red Bull at the moment. Magnussen Cube is up onto the podium as well, by the way. A great drive by the Albanian. He's going for what would be his first podium.
We were talking about how Haas would get a great result in up there, and now
4th and 5th at one point, then now 3rd and 10th.
Yeah, the race is just, everything is changing. I mean,
it's incredible. It's an insane end to this race. Baku once again delivering, and I can't believe it's only the 4th time we've raced here. It's the first time me and Ollie have commentated here in SKG Tier 1. It's been a phenomenal race. Catsby and Jacek, though, is sprinting away at the front here. He's outside of a second now from Mark Daniel, who looks like he might have to settle for second place here. Magnussen Cube, though, 3rd place and looking to become the first ever Albanian on the podium in SKG Tier 1. He'll have the entirety of his country cheering him on at the moment, although here comes FST Robin looking to spoil the party. He gets past, but Magnussen Q plays DRS chicken there, and has he got the DRS? He certainly... Oh, he hasn't! Neither of them have the DRS.
He's going to go through
Neither of them have the DRS, and Tom Campbell says, thank you very much, I'll take both places. The two of them playing DRS chicken, and it costs them a position to the V-Carb, who's back up onto the podium, but has the 3-second time penalty that is currently dropping him down into what would be 8th place, I believe. Milan, by the way, after being last for pretty much the whole race, up in 8th now.
Yeah, another man to note who has kind of emerged from nothing is Ethan Quigley. Obviously, he disconnected early on. Thankfully, he's now back in, and he's still going to be scoring decent points for Williams, with obviously Esko Kalevi still going round without half the front wing. So, yeah, Williams still going to take some points here.
Yeah, Esko Kalevi, I'm expecting to see come into the pits at the end of this lap to try and make sure no one gets the fastest lap point, perhaps.
He would have needed to do it last lap.
Oh, he would, yes. I'm being an idiot, yeah. So, Esko Kalevi just going around for the fun just in case someone else retires, but...
maybe he didn't know that.
Yeah, a nightmare day in the championship for Esko. He's scoring 0 points for the first time this season as well, by the way. He had finished in the top 5 in all of the first 6 races. Not anymore. Instead, he is out the points. His main championship rival, though, only picking up 2 points, but that will be enough to take the championship lead away from the Finn at the end of today as things stand. Parker currently going to be 1 point ahead, having started the day 1 point behind.
Unbelievable.
It's incredibly close. Tom Campbell as well is going to gain some valuable points, but it's not really going to be enough to make too much difference as Ethan Quigley looking down the inside of Magnussen Cube into turn 1, side by side, a bit of contact between the two of them, wheel banging, and the Williams does get through into 5th place. The Magnussen Cube, his dream of a first Albanian podium, is fading away here. Down to 6th place now goes the Haas, and as his tyres fall off compared to those around him, he is dropping like a stone, but back down the inside of Ethan Quigley he goes. There's contact between the two of them. Ethan hits the wall. And, oh my god, there's contact as well further on as Peter Games sneaks through and Ethan Quigley tries to defend the position. Milan is getting stuck in as well here on lap 26 out to 26. Can the Mercedes go all the way around the outside? Yes, he can. Peter Games tries to switch back but doesn't quite make it. Wow. What an ending
what do you say to this?
It's just incredible, and this is helping Tom Campbell so much, by the way, as Portuguese Beast picks up a time penalty that will drop him out of the points. Tom Campbell, at the moment, looks like he's going to finish in 5th place, so big points heading the way of the V-Carb in the end after sort of throwing away a victory in this race. But I tell you, who hasn't thrown away a victory? He started so far down this order. He started in 14th place. Risbo crashes out and that might just save Portuguese Beast a solitary point in this race. But the man on the way to the line has had to wait for this moment for so long. 28 races since he last stood on the top step. He goes from 14th to 1st and wins in Baku. Kacper Jędrzejczyk, welcome back to the top step of the podium. And McLaren, welcome to a double podium finish that no one could have predicted. What a race in Baku. Well done, Baku City Circuit. Tom Campbell comes home in 4th place in the end. A fantastic drive from him to recover to that. And we can finally take a breath, Ollie.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. I'm going to book us some therapy, I think.
I think we need it.
Oh, unbelievable. I'm just going to call it now. That is going to be this race this season. 100%.
It could well be.
I don't know how you can match that.
And
how can you match that?
Exactly. And one thing I failed to mention as well as Kacper crossed the line. That is 7 different winners in the first 7 races this season. We are yet to have a driver stand on that top step of the podium more than once in season 16. It may not be the closest in points in terms of the championship, but boy oh boy is it close in each and every race. A different winner at every round. We've gone Parker in Australian, Nardo at his home race in Italy, Oliver Knott in his one appearance in Saudi Arabia, Takubi at his home race in Belgium, Esko Kolevi in Singapore, Tom Campbell last time out in Brazil, and now Kacper Jędrzejczyk after 28 races is back as a winner in SKG Tier 1. Tom Campbell picking up the fastest lap point as well, by the way, at the end of that, so an extra point for him in the championship. I'm very quickly trying to tot up the championship standings, but I am also going to try and get the race director if I can. Peter Games 8th, Parker 9th, Portuguese Beast 10th. Let's quickly get the race director for all the incidents. There weren't actually that many warnings in that race.
You kind of expect that for this.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to cut corners, but I mean, Tom Campbell and Portuguese Beast found a way in that race. But
different.
Wow, what a race that was. And, I mean, how do we even begin summing that one up, Ollie?
Chaos. Chaos is how we sum that one up. Yeah, I don't know how. I feel like every race is now going to be boring. Because that was...
we may well have peaked.
So exciting.
we may well have peaked in that race, but I'm just very quickly adding up the drivers and constructors standings at the moment. But while we do that, let's have a think of driver of the day here today. And I feel like there are quite a few options. Do you give it to Kacper, first win in 28 races from 14th on the grid? Do you give it to Mark Daniel from 9th to 2nd on his debut? Do you give it Robin up at about, I think he was up 13 places as well to get himself on the podium? But just how do you even decide a driver who is above the rest in that race?
I wouldn't even. I don't think I'd even. Usually, it's quite a simple decision of just whoever's been the standout performer. But multiple drivers have been the standout performers tonight, and I wouldn't be able to tell you who I'd say.
It is incredibly difficult. Stream chat, if you're still viewing at this point, which, I mean, I feel like everyone's just getting their breath back after that. Who do we think for driver of the day? Is it Kacper 14th to 1st? Is it Mark 9th to 2nd on debut? Or is it Robin from 16th to 3rd in just his second start as well? I feel like they have to be the ones. I would have said Tom was a contender, but he kind of threw his own race away and just had to do a fantastic job to recover it as best he could. But we'll give Stream a chance to have a little vote themselves on who they think should be driver of the day here. In terms of what that does, though, in the drivers' standings, of course, all standings are provisional, subject to stewards' reports. But as things stand, Parker now leads the championship. Despite finishing 9th and only taking 2 points, he leapfrogs Esko Kalevi, who finished in 11th and picked up 0. Parker now on 91 points, but Esko Kalevi right behind him on 90. It is still just a point between the top two in the championship. With that point for fastest lap, Tom Campbell goes up to third on 57 points, one ahead of Catsby and Jacek in fourth on 56. So incredibly close between third and fourth as well. Takubi fifth on 47 points after his unfortunate DNF, which appeared to be started off by a wheel disconnect. Nardo in 6th, despite not actually finishing a race since the third round of the season. He is on 42 points, with SKG Venzi 7th on 34, retiring in the pit lane entrance here today. 8th place, Ollie Knott on 26, 23 for Goat Ghosty, and 22 for Krabs. That is your top 10 in the championship. In terms of the constructors, VCarb continue to lead the way on 148 points, but they have been caught up by Red Bull, now on 125, jumping up into second in the standings. Williams down to third on 112. McLaren out of nowhere up into fourth on 72, with Ferrari down to fifth in 69 points. And then it's Sauber on 62, Aston Martin 56, Mercedes 26, joint 8th place with Haas, and Alpine last on 22. So, I think for me, I can't really give a driver a day in that one. I feel like it's equally deserved by everyone on the podium in that race.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
So I think that is the fairest way of us resolving it. And I mean, now we look forward to next weekend, where we travel to the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar, and we wait to do it all over again. I doubt it'll be quite as chaotic as Baku was, but we have a championship battle on our hands. 1 point between first and second, 1 point between third and fourth. All the action will kick off, as always, on Thursday night at 8 PM UK time with Tier 4. Following that up on Friday night at the same time with Tier 3. And then your Super Saturday with Tier 2 at 5 PM UK. Followed by Tier 1 with myself and Ollie at 8 PM. That is all the action happening between the 5th and the 7th of March at the Lusail International Circuit. For now, though, we say thank you, Baku, for what has been a chaotic race. And we'll see you next week.